Rubens may harbour for a day or two, but hopefully by the time they get to the European Grand Prix at Nürburgring, he'll have forgotten about it.
Well, let's take a look back over the highlights now of the Canadian Grand Prix here in Montreal. Weather conditions were just about ideal for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix, and Juan Pablo Montoya always knew that to get off in front of Michael Schumacher would be crucial. He managed that. It was a great start from pole, and it was Barrichello in what turned out to be the lighter Ferrari, slipping into second, and you could see Michael didn't even try to stop him. Raikkonen made a great start, moved up to fourth place around that first lap, but Barrichello was soon on the charge, fighting his way past Juan Pablo Montoya, taking the chase to Williams and showing that the lighter Ferrari was going to be very quick in the opening laps. De La Rosa had this contact with Allan McNish on the end of that opening lap, managed to change the tyres, would rejoin but go out again later, and Felipe Massa making a little mistake that allowed Jacques Villeneuve to gain a place. Unfortunately for Jacques, it didn't last long.
But this is the event in the race that really changed the character of the race. The retirement of Villeneuve, the safety car came out, and as we've heard from Rubens Barrichello, he doesn't understand why. The team will explain later. Nonetheless, there is the safety car. Barrichello feeling that it was an unnecessary safety car deployment.
Great reaction from the Williams team, though, to get Montoya in at that precise moment as soon as they knew the safety car was coming out. That helped him, and this helped him even more. Raikkonen made a mistake at the last chicane. Montoya was right there to take advantage of it, and if he hadn't got past then, he certainly wouldn't have been in the battle later on in the race as he was, because Raikkonen then did not make another mistake, and Ralf Schumacher had to follow him lap after lap after lap and could not find a way through.
And one thing was clear, Kimi Raikkonen proved today, if it ever needed proving, he is a fighter. He did not concede 1 inch of track, and this is one of the other issues again, this leaf litter all around the circuit. We saw it with the Williams BMW there, with Barrichello having to wait until the mechanics, the engineers were happy that they'd cleared those air intakes away.
De La Rosa was one of the retirements. We didn't see as many cars out of this race as sometimes. Michael Schumacher made a late stop, and it brought him back out in second, with Montoya still having to make his second pit stop. Kimi Raikkonen was still charging in front of Ralf Schumacher, but it was more disappointment, I'm afraid, for the Jaguars, as Eddie Irvine struggled in the pits and would soon retire. And Ralf Schumacher had to make 2 pit stops. The fuel didn't go in the car properly. Irvine's retirement came a moment or two later, and Ralf Schumacher was then left with the prospect of trying to get just 1 point, in which he failed in the battle with Trulli.
Well, David Coulthard, look again, the oscillation on those Michelin tyres as they bounce them across the curves. David Coulthard, one of those days when he got his head down, but Allan McNish, the other Scotsman in the race, had his head down too much. He had a spin, and of course then the car into retirement. He couldn't select a gear, and we have to apologise for the language that Allan McNish used in that brief moment when he was on the radio to his team.
Then the drama of BMW engine failure for Montoya, putting him out of what would have been at least second position. Barrichello and Coulthard battled for what would be second place themselves. That was the moment that Barrichello wasn't too pleased about. He waved his finger, but nothing was done because they had both gone across the chicane, and that was how it was going to have to stay. Meanwhile, the battle continued for sixth, and that last point, Trulli versus Ralf Schumacher, raging to the end as Trulli's teammate Jenson Button sadly retired with almost within sight of the checkered flag. Ralph's mistake down at the first corner meant that he wasn't able to take sixth, but Michael Schumacher came through to take Ferrari win number 150 and show his class once again, as brother Ralph, last year's winner, expired in a cloud of smoke. And Coulthard and Barrichello discussed that incident in the battle for second. Michael Schumacher, the winner in Canada.